So that's the aftermath party right there. Everything's all tore off of it. And kind of just give it a quickie assessment in my head of what I need. And the motor's got a pan underneath it, and I took parts washing fluid from my parts washer and just kind of soaked the whole block down, spun it 360 degrees, and kind of just let all that crappy stuff soak in for a while. And then I'll come back with a toothbrush and start working on the bits out of it and kind of get the block cleaned up and kind of do an assessment on that. I think I'm not going to get into the bottom end on it. It's got like 4th thou end play on it before I took the flywheel off, and that's within spec. So we're just going to wing it, I think. But I'm going to go and take a walk around my hoard. I think I'll turn the camera with me and don't pick on my stash, but we'll see what we got for see if we can go find any pieces for this thing and make my list smaller for when I need to go shopping at the swap meet. Alright, first hoard is the parts car satellite. It's a convertible Belvedere, and you run into being a hoarder, you don't get rid of stuff just in case you need something for something. So what you do is you have a stash. Told you. So there's a dual port heads right there. You need a valve. I think they might be the same. I'm not sure. I got to move some stuff, but I need that piece. What's that head? It's a dual port also. There's another tin right here. I need that piece. That's the one that goes in the front when that gets rotted. Score. Alright, well, I'm going to keep shopping in here. I don't want to get you guys too dizzy. And so we got a decent heater box right there too. I thought I had two new heater boxes, but I may have put them on. Here's another one right there. I may have put them on one of my other buses, and then these would be the worst of them, but good enough to keep. I put in here, so we'll just rotate the stash. All right, let me get to digging. All right, now I moved over to the other side, and I already got a good pile I dug out from that side. I'll show you these. Check out these hubcaps. How they call them? Crazy hubcaps. Yeah, baby. Set of 4. Never used. Alright, what else we got? There's some bus windows. Still not broke, that's a good sign. Oop, there's something I need. That back tin right there. It's gotta come out. I see 2 tins here. They look like, yeah, they are dual port. Holes the wrong size. Alright, we can go pull them out of there and add them to the pile. I gotta get that tin down there too. Yeah, no. Hiding. Alright, now we're out back. And in the trunk, because I knew I had some new exhaust stuff that came with that red Beetle. And you kind of see it. This is the one on the bottom right here is a bus. I think like 60 and up fits that, the later style motor. But it's tailpipe and its pipes and its extensions and all. But we're gonna leave that be. I don't want to put it on this motor yet. could probably use that as exhaust clamps though, huh? Yeah, why don't we harvest that too? It's like the hardware kit and the gaskets. And we got that guy, another part of the engine tin. And right down in here, I have a complete, this is another 1600 single port bus motor. And what makes a bus motor, the only difference between a bus motor and a Beetle motor is, should get you in there. See these guys right here? Something called a mustache bar. The engine on a bus hangs from a motor mount bar with motor mounts on each side. A Beetle, a whole engine just hangs off the trans, and the trans is what's supported in 3 places, but not on a bus. They use this. So you need either a universal case or you need a bus case. They make adapter plates for them, but they suck. Anyway, so this is a whole nother motor that ran, and it's probably the same condition of the one that I have in there. The other one in there just had all the cosmetics for it, you know. So this is actually a spare also. And if I need it, actually, nope, that's satellite. There we go. We'll look in one more spot. All right. My last hiding place is the 70 Westy, waiting its turn patiently. Pollen's gonna get me. I just kicked everything up. So, again, I like to shop for them over time, and then it makes it nice and cheap to put together. So you can see all the hoard of sheet metal that's in here for this one, all the bits and pieces it needs, and tins and quarter patch panels and trim pieces. And then there's a universal box back in here. Kind of has a little bit of everything. So I think it's mostly sheet metal parts up in there. There's another core right there. Don't know what that motor is. That looks that's a single port. It's blown. I know it's got a thrown rod and it blew a hole in the case, I believe. That's why it is there. But I do see a piece of sheet metal on it. Wonders never cease. All right. Mousetrap, see if we got anybody. Nobody. I changed that out a little while ago. Alright. Rubber seals. Sometimes I come back from a show and I just kind of throw the stuff in here and it doesn't really register in your mind what you got because you just kind of came home and filed it away. Brake drum, that's gonna be, that's bus though. Trike needs one. That's it. I don't think we're gonna find anything in here. This looks like it's just all rubber gaskets I've grabbed over the time for this one. Yeah. Okay. Till we meet again. Alright, so here's what the payoff is. A better set of heater boxes. The bell housing off of a bus, what you can do is you could put that on the back of the motor, you could put a starter on it, and you can start the motors up out of a car. The rear tin, the other rear tin that goes under the generator pulley at the end, crank pulley, set of valve covers, and the push rod that is bent in the other one, and then this cover is the other half of that guy. Goes on like that, and the front tin that I think the other one's beat up on, and another set of valve covers, and a hardware set for the exhaust. So paid off pretty good for holding that stuff. And I know somebody who needs those. 1 year only. 67 Beetle with brackets. Whoa. Anyway, I'm gonna go bring this stuff inside. How's that? A little better? Give it a finger in with the parts washing solution, and broke up all the heavy stuff, and then hit it with a can of brake clean afterwards, and then hit it with a big old air gun and blew all the crap off of it. So now we got it down to its bare essentials. I'm gonna clean it up some more when I get the pistons and the jugs off of it and the oil cooler, but I didn't want to have the outside of it all scuzzy and then take the stuff off and have it get all in the block anyway. I'm probably gonna rinse it out with some stuff anyway, maybe kerosene, but we'll see. Alright, so I'm in the process of cleaning the heads up. I put them in the parts washer first and just kind of knocked off all the big heavy crap off of them. And still see some right there. And then normally what I would use on something like this is oven cleaner. And I do not have any of that at the moment, so I figure I'd kind of use up extra spray bombs of what I have here. And this is gasket remover, which is pretty much paint stripper, almost the exact same stuff. It smells the same. I have a feeling it's the same deal. So I sprayed that on there and let that soak for I went to lunch, so probably about an hour. And I'm just gonna go hose it off and see how clean they come, and if it needs more, I'm gonna go run out and grab myself some oven cleaner, like I said, and let that take care of all that black gunky looking stuff. And then we'll give them a closer inspection and we'll see what we have. Alright, we're gonna do a little test. I got 2 different kinds of oven cleaner. Note to self, do not go to Home Depot on Memorial Day. It was a ridiculous joke. So we got these 2 different types. And we'll remember the white can goes with the head with the longer studs on it, the loose studs. And actually that one's a little cleaner, but we'll see what happens. I'm probably just going to be mostly concerned with the combustion chamber, how it breaks that carbon off of there. So we won't read the instructions, we'll just spray them down and let them soak for a while and see how it does. Alright, well that's the tin that goes under the front pulley. The original one, you can see how punky that one was, and I thought I had the correct one. It's got oven cleaner on it right now, but if you notice, this section is different right here. I'll end up having a hole. So that crappy motor that was out back, I grabbed out of there. As you can see, it's all packed in dirt. It's got a thrown rod in it. It has the correct tin. So I'm gonna go see if we can harvest this guy out of here. See the 2 holes. And get that guy out of there, and we'll clean that one up and make that the spare for it. Yeah, so I went in the house and I grabbed a coffee, and I was reading some of the comments, and some people were asking that kind of show all the details when I'm taking stuff apart. So I'm still disassembling. I want to take the generator off and all the crap off the fan shroud, because I want to get the tins cleaned up and painted and let them sit for a few days before I reassemble it. And one of the problems I'm having is you know, all the hardware is, again, 45 years old, so it's gonna be a little bit rough to come apart. I want to take some of the screws out, and a regular screwdriver is not cutting it. And sometimes you can put a wrench on the screwdriver and kind of help turn it, but generally they want to strip out. This is called an impact driver, and its job, what it has is a built-in cam, and if you smack down on the head of it with a hammer, it's got an angle on the inside of it. It drives that tip one direction. Actually, you can switch it either way. It's got a collar on here. You could flip it from one direction to the other. But I figured I'd show that and what it does. You want to make sure it's got a good seat in the screw hole. If, like, this one's already cleaned up, but if not, just take the bit or even your screwdriver and just kind of tap it through and get all the crap out of it, because once if it rips out of the socket, then you're kind of screwed. Then you're not going to get it with anything. So you want that to seat down as far as possible, and you kind of want to give it a turn the direction it wants to go until the tool kind of stops, and just, that's it. And what it does, it pushes down while it's turning. So it like a screwdriver, when you turn it, it wants to kind of, make sure I'm on camera, a screwdriver wants to kind of turn and lift up as you're doing it, and you're trying to counter it by pushing down. But when you're smacking with a hammer, it's probably 50-50. You're putting just as much energy down as you are turning it, so it doesn't want to lift out of the screw hole. 2-cent lesson for today. Alright, well, they've been soaking probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours now. And so you got, they look pretty similar. Slightly different color. That's got more of a white to it. That's got more of a yellow. But I think that was the dirtier one, so that just may be because of that. It's probably the exact same crap that's in both of them. So I'm going to go fire up the pressure washer and clean off those as best as possible. And then I got to disassemble them and look into them. But at the same token, I've been kind of prepping everything else. And here are all the other tins in various stages, sprayed with the larger can, the Easy Off. And just to kind of knock off all the crap and grease that's on them too. And I will do the same with the pressure washer. And worst case, I'll hit them again. And one last piece is got the shrouds stripped down, so I want to give that a shot and get that cleaned up too. All right, so I took the pressure washer and I washed all the crap off of them. They cleaned up pretty good. Staining on them, but as far as the cleanliness of them, it probably took about, I don't know, 60 or 70% of the carbon out of the centers. And if I wasn't as impatient, I probably could have let them sit a little bit longer. And I would say they're probably equal as far as the two cleaners themselves. Probably the exact same stuff, as I said. So I'm gonna go look into them, and I know I have a bad valve. I think I was looking at one of them. You can actually see some little cracks in it. So I went back in the hoard and I found that dual port head right there, and anybody's guess whether those valves are the same size or not. I just do not know. So I figured I'd take one of those apart and we'll just kind of eye them up next to each other, and we'll see if we could steal one or two out of that if I have to, as I rework those. And the rest of the stuff's all cleaned up, and I pressure washed it, all the sheet metal. Doesn't do anything for the rust, but it gets all the whatever paint is still left on it will come off, and whatever crap greases on it will come off. So that's pretty much what you got. They're clean, kind of, sort of. And then I'll probably just sand them lightly, and I'll just hit them with black Rust-Oleum, and that's why they call it Rust-Oleum, because it's meant to paint over rust. And the heater box is cleaned up good, except for right here. I should have hit them with a scraper first. This is where the valve cover sits, and when they leak oil, it goes right onto there and kind of bakes onto it like a thick mud. So I just have to clean that crap off. But again, you can see how it cleaned all the paint and crap off of it. These get painted a gray color. They look pretty decent too. So, mustache bar. I went back into the hoard. You can see I got that cylinder head, and I had seen another one of those. The one that came with the motor has a blowout right here, right there. Yeah. So, I either have to repair that, or I grab this one. And the only problem with this one is, this is where it bolts to the motor. This is the motor side of it. One of them is just bent. See, straight bent. So I think that's not too big of a deal. May just run some heat on that, stick it in a vise, and stick a pipe over it or something, see if we can get that to straighten out. And what happens when it does that? This bolt usually lets go out of the motor, and over time it slowly starts twisting the motor mount. So one way or another, one of these will be getting used, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be this one. But if not, I can always cut. If I try straightening that out and it screws up, I'll just cut a patch out of that and put it in this one. So it's funny how the stuff when you put it away is the junky stuff, and then it's like, I don't want to use that stuff, it's kind of ratty. Then 10 years go by, and that ratty stuff now becomes the good stuff, and the other stuff that aged even further becomes the ratty stuff. And so I'll throw that back in the scrap hoard, and 10 years from now I'll probably take that back out again and say, oh man, I'm glad I had that one. The life of a hoarder. And the only thing I have left out there is 3 pieces. I have the shroud, the intake manifold, and I think the rear tin are out there. Those were later, so they don't have as much time on them. So I want to let them soak for about an hour or so, and then I will wash those also. And be good to go. I ordered the 2 tins that go on each side right here. Where are they? This is kind of my dead pile over here. These guys right here. Both of these have rot and rust on the edges of them. So for 30 bucks delivered to the house, I got 2 repro of those. I'm not very fond of the repro stuff. It's kind of cheap, crappy, and doesn't seal as good as the OEM stuff. But again, at some point you got to draw the line. So, and again, those heater boxes will go back in my stash, and I'll have something that's worse than that from now, and I'll be putting them on. Alright guys, well I am going to wrap it up from now. I don't know how long this video is going to be, so we're going to call this the end right here. And again, thanks for watching, comment, and subscribing. Free pile on the side of the road. And take care. Bye.